Mosaic is brought to you in part by these generous corporate sponsors. Learn how you can support Mosaic by visiting jewishpb.org/mosaic.
Welcome to Mosaic. I'm your host, Susan Schulman-Pertnoy. Mosaic is Jewish Federation of Palm Beach County's weekly news magazine, exploring the most critical issues facing Jews here and around the world. And in this, our 42nd season, we'll be exploring those issues via Zoom, as all of us cope with the effects of the pandemic. For 25 years, the Palm Beaches has partnered with the TZAHAR region in Israel, which is made up of the communities of Tzfat, Hatzor, and Rosh, Pina. We share ideas, culture, and resources, and in a moment, we'll discuss how our partnership is flourishing. We'll be right back.
Celebrating together, overcoming together, making a difference together. During a year unlike any we have seen before, this Jewish community is helping thousands who are struggling to get by. The Palm Beaches is home to one of the largest and most vibrant Jewish communities in the world. And together, we have been a powerful force to help those who need it most.
Today's episode of Mosaic was taped this past fall during a live celebration of the 25th anniversary of the Partnership Together program.
And welcome everyone to this special edition of Mosaic. We're going to jump right into today's program. So let's start by talking about the history and the current state of our partnership. And what better way to do that than with Marilyn Commodore, who chairs the partnership at the Jewish Federation, and Ofer Zafrani, the partnership chair in TZAHAR. Marilyn, Ofer, welcome to Mosaic.
Thank you.
Yay.
Hey, let's start with you, Marilyn. Why is there a partnership between the Palm Beaches and Israel, and how did it begin?
All right, there's a partnership because we want to try to bring a personal connection between the people of Israel and the diaspora Jews, and especially the Jews in our community. And it just brings, just as our prior speakers said, it brings a personal bridge between the people in Israel and Palm Beach and forms lasting friendships among the people.
Ofer, what does this partnership look like in Israel?
First of all, the partnership in Israel, it's a great opportunity to meet our brothers overseas, and especially in Palm Beach. For us, it's a great opportunity to know and to enlarge the knowledge about Judaism all over the world, for us and for our children. For me and for my community, I think it's a privilege. And it's given me a lot of strength, I think, for all the community here to know that we are not alone. And I think that together we are a force. Together we can beat every challenge, everything that we all will face today and in the future. So, and I have to say, this is exciting to be here. And I would like to say thank you for all these wonderful people that joined us today for this 25th celebration.
I reiterate that as well. What has the partnership's impact been in TZAHAR?
For TZAHAR, the partnership is opportunity. It's like a window. It's a window for the world. For us, for our children, for our community, it's a great opportunity to know and to know that Jewish all over the world sometimes live differently. Here in Israel, we take as something that we used to be Jewish in Israel, and to know that there are so many good people, brothers and sisters overseas that care for Israel, that give us so much with the fact that they love and cherish and contribute to Israel and to TZAHAR region, it's warmed us. It's make us to feel more confidence, and it gives us a lot of strength to challenge many things that we are dealing here in TZAHAR region.
Both of you are very busy people. You've got careers, you've got all sorts of things going on. Why did you decide to take on your roles as chairs of the partnership? Who wants to go first?
Okay, first of all, I have to say, I start my way in the partnership as a principal at Begin School. And as a principal, I have the twinning program. And then I discovered this great word. And when I was offered to be the chair of the steering committee, for me, it's a big privilege to take this impact and make it bigger, not only on my school, for the whole community. And for me to be the chair of the steering committee, to be part of this great thing, it's a matter of something good that I'm doing in my life. I think this is one of the things that I will remember that I did good later on.
Thank you, Marilyn. Sorry to have cut you off. Go ahead.
That's okay. That's okay. I decided that I would take on this role when my husband and I chaired the Israel Your Way mission in 2018. It was my fourth visit to Israel and my third visit to the region. And at that time, I spoke to Melissa Arden, who was on the trip, and she was one of the Federation people on the trip. And I went up to her and I said that I would really like to serve on a committee that has to do with Israel. I felt like it was my time to do that. My family was grown and I would have the time to put into this and to actually have the time to visit the region as well when needed.
Ofer, do you have something that you want to share with us?
I have to say that every meeting, every person I meet makes me prouder, touch me deeply, and clarify the importance of our partnership more and more. It's really a living bridge. It's all about the person. It's all about the meeting people to meet people and to know that we are not alone and together we are a force, a real force.
So well said. The coronavirus has obviously impacted the world. We're all feeling the effects. So in addition to the health crisis, how has it affected your own community? Marilyn, you want to take that?
Sure. Yes, sadly, we had to cancel our large 25th anniversary programs and celebrations that we had planned both in Israel and in Palm Beach. So we were not able to visit one another and have those events. But there is a positive aspect and a silver lining to the whole thing. The use of technology for the partnership business has brought the people in Palm Beach and TZAHAR together at a level never experienced before Corona. We are constantly in communication. Pre-Corona, the standard model was that the steering committee would meet approximately 4 times a year. We'd Skype with the partnership in Israel. And once Corona came, we started having virtual meetings. We met throughout the summer with both the steering committee in the region and in Palm Beach. There was no need to have to be in town to meet together. And we began something called Partnership Live Events, which were open to the Federation community and our partnership region. And we had different events throughout the summer. We had a Lag BaOmer event. We had Yom Yerushalayim, a Shavuot cooking event where Ofer cooked a cheesecake for all of us. We had a reunion of past shlichim, and that was wonderful. We had them speak about the impact that the Palm Beaches had on them and their time here. And they told us about where they are now and what they're doing. And finally, in August, we had a klezmer event because there's a special connection between our region and Tzfat and klezmer music. So what that did is we were able to celebrate Jewish events as well together with the partnership this summer. And it brought numerous people together, and we hope to keep moving forward and doing that in the future.
Well, that sounds like such a silver lining. Ofer, do you have anything to add to that?
First of all, I agree with all what Marilyn said, the same and here in the TZAHAR region. And I have to say that I'm sure that the next 25 years of our partnership will be better. I think the Corona, against all odds, make our relationship better, because all the communication skills are better than what it was. And for our relationship, this is the best thing that we can have, and for the future to go.
It sounds like it's one big happy family. That's what it's turning into. It's
Yes.
very exciting. So here's another question for both of you. What does the future of the partnership look like? Marilyn?
Okay. I believe the future for the partnership is going to be continued numerous virtual meetings often. We will have events that we can both participate in. We will also have, every year we have a new initiative that both the steering committee in Israel and in Palm Beach we collaborate on, and we have a new program that happens every year from the initiative. This year we have two. The Tzfat English Library is going to be part of our new initiative, and also Ort Kadima Mada, which is an online 3D modeling programming event. And it's multicultural, and it will be for middle and high school students, both in the Palm Beaches and in the region. They will be collaborating, doing Jewish events together on the computer. And in conjunction with the Israel Programming Center, we are going to be beginning a pilot of an adult education programming this year, which is very exciting. So, and finally, what my hope for the future is that we can all be together again often, that the people in the TZAHAR region can come to us, and that we can be in Israel together again. That's my hope for the future of the partnership.
Thank you very much. And Ofer, any final words?
It's not fair because Marilyn talking with before me. So again, I agree with Marilyn. I will not say everything again, but I think the future of our partnership is more people-to-people meeting, more delegation that will come to Israel, and more delegation that will come to Palm Beach, because I believe that after all and before everything, it's all about the personal touch, the feeling, the hug, and you know, we cannot meet for a long time, but at the moment we are meeting, it's like we are always together. And I remember when you were in Israel and I host you in my home, I feel like you always been there. It's like you are my brothers and sister. And I think this is the future. More meeting, more people to people. This is the real living bridge of our partnership. And I hope that this will be the future after we will beat the Corona.
Thank you so much, both of you. Ofer, I can't wait to have another meal in your house. It was so sumptuous. It was a feast. But thank you both for joining us. And next, we're going to speak with some young leaders who are shaking up the status quo.
Celebrating together, overcoming together, making a difference together. During a year unlike any we have seen before, this Jewish community is helping thousands who are struggling to get by. The Palm Beaches is home to one of the largest and most vibrant Jewish communities in the world. And together, we have been a powerful force to help those who need it most.
Join adults in the Palm Beaches who are finding meaning behind the texts at the root of Judaism. Federation's Commission for Jewish Education is connecting adult learners with the life-enhancing Melton School of Adult Jewish Learning that nurtures and deepens our Jewish community worldwide. Learn more at jewishpb.org/Melton.
So now, I'm pleased to welcome Jason Rogers, the immediate past chair of the Emerging Leadership Program in Palm Beach. Jason chaired the first ELP mission to Israel and recently won the Robert S. and Seal N. Levy Young Leadership Award for his dedication to the Jewish community. And also we're inviting Dr. Nehara Amar, who participated in the Teen Leadership Institute, where teens from Palm Beach and TZAHAR traveled to St. Petersburg, Russia. Now she is the chair of the Public Relations Subcommittee in the TZAHAR region. But I have some news hot off the press. Nehara is going to be the chair of the steering committee. She is taking over Ofer's position. I don't think anybody knows this, but a mazel tov to you, Nehara.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to both of you. Thank you. Let's go back to your beginning. You've said that the mission trip to Russia with the American and Israeli teens really changed your life. Tell us more about how that influenced you.
Well, the path of a young girl in Tzfat is pretty much known. After 18, you're moving to university in Jerusalem, in Tel Aviv, and you never go back to the region. But meeting other people from TZAHAR in the delegation and meeting other people of the Jewish people in Palm Beach and in St. Petersburg made me want to come back to the region, made me want to do other things that are good for the Jewish people, for our community. It definitely influenced the path of my life.
Jason, you've taken on leadership roles in the Palm Beaches and even won a leadership award. But tell us how you first became involved in the Jewish community.
How I became first involved in the Jewish community was really after my ELP experience. I was fortunate enough, like you said, to lead the first ELP mission to the region. And on that trip, I saw my ability to impact others, impact my peers. And when I came back, especially after seeing our counterparts in the TZAHAR region, it fueled me with a lot of my own ability. And when I came back, I was able to take a role not only in sharing ELP, so I could have the same effect on people that the program had on me, but also now I sit on the executive committee of my synagogue in an educational position as a VP of education. And it really just showed me a little bit of what it could look like to be more hands-on and take more of a role.
How have those experiences shaped your participation in the partnership?
Sometimes it's hard to see progress that you make inside your own bubble. And getting to meet people in our partnership region and to see what they were able to build and accomplish, it really made me want to be more active here. It gave me a different perspective on how important it is to have leadership succession and to have new generations take pride and stewardship for their communities. And like I said, I coming back and sharing ELP and subsequently serving with my synagogue, it really was a result of that partnership region and inspiring me and making me want to do more here.
How about you, Nehara?
Well, this week I remember celebrating the 10 years, the first decade together, the celebration of the 10th year here in Tzfat. I saw some pictures and I remembered and I started to think that actually Tommy and Cheryl are like my parents. They know me since I was a young girl. And actually this partnership made me prouder of who I am, of my family and my region, to be a part of something that's very unique. And of course, now to be a part of this beautiful and this amazing steering committee and workers of the partnership that are doing a lot of new initiatives, like you heard from Ofer. And every year, we're getting to know more and more organizations and more people that wants to be part of the partnership. And it makes us very proud.
And what about our recovery from the pandemic? How do each of you see the partnership playing a role in that?
Well, I think that Ofer talked about it. It was amazing. It was great. And I remember 2 months ago, we interviewed the new ambassadors. And we interviewed from far away, and we were all with masks, but each girl and boy that came into the room, they wanted to do more things for the community. and they wanted to take more parts in the community. It doesn't matter if it's school, if it's the youth movements. I think that this is the power of the partnership, to make our youth stronger, to make my generation stronger and caring. That's the important part.
How about you, Jason?
That's a good point, Nahora. I think my personal experiences were incredibly immersive in person. And I think it's a really interesting question and maybe not one I have a clear answer to. But that being said, I think both mid and post-pandemic, the partnership gives us an ability to connect and interact with our friends in Israel in a new way. And outside of time zone differences, it's really as easy to connect to Israel as it is to Broward County. And I think it gives us something to look forward to. That's kind of where I put my focus, like to future missions, future opportunities, and hopefully soon interaction in person.
Thank you both for joining us. I appreciate your participation.
Congratulations, Nahara.
Yes, congratulations.
Coming up, we're going to introduce you to some amazing teenagers here and in Israel who are making sure the future of Partnership Together looks very bright.
Celebrating together, overcoming together, making a difference together. During a year unlike any we have seen before, this Jewish community is helping thousands who are struggling to get by. The Palm Beaches is home to one of the largest and most vibrant Jewish communities in the world. And together, we have been a powerful force to help those who need it most.
Now we're going to look at the future with some amazing teenagers. And so I'm pleased to welcome Aiden Taylor, a Z Israel Fellow from Palm Beach County, and Ori Tebelsi, a young ambassador from Israel. These men, as you heard earlier, met this past December when Aiden traveled to Israel with other Z Israel Fellows from Palm Beach. Hi, nice to see you again. What is Z Israel and why did you participate?
Well, Z Israel is a program for teens such as myself to form connections with the state of Israel and then the people in Israel. I joined because I've been looking for a program I can go on so where I can go to Israel. My brother and sister were both part of the Bonim Chaim program, and that was just so amazing for them. And I really wanted to have that experience. So I found out that Carly Jacobson was starting this amazing program, and I thought there'd be no reason not to join. And it's amazing, and I'm so glad that I joined.
Ori, why did you become a young ambassador?
I think that because I understand that it is something big and it is something life-changing, something that I didn't do before. I didn't know anyone from the US Jewish communities. And now that I know them, I understand how big is this program and this whole new life that I made for myself with the Jewish communities in the US.
When you went to Israel in December, what was that your first trip?
Yeah, that was my first trip to Israel.
So what was it like when you met Ori and the other Israeli teens? How was it after flying for all those hours?
You know, right when we walked in, there was just so much energy in the room, and we became friends immediately. It was just such an amazing thing.
That's really something very special. Ori, what are some of the things that you've learned from Aiden and from other teens who were on the trip?
I think it was the first time that I have met the culture of the US people. And before that, I haven't known a thing about them. I was only concentrated in the Israeli culture. And it was really mind-blowing for me. It let me know other cultures and other ways of life. And I just want to say, in continuing for the last question you asked, Aiden, I want to ask Aiden, do you remember the first time that we put a fill-in on you in the Tzfat streets?
Yes, I do. I was just thinking about that. That was just so awesome to me. It was really life-changing.
Yeah, you see, so this is one of the things that Aiden and us have experienced in this amazing trip together. And it is really life-changing for all of us.
It really was. Both of you have experienced new cultures, and so when you came back to the States, Aiden, how was it talking to your family and friends about Israel?
Well, before I went to Israel, my view of Israel was much more political, and just the things that were going on there on the political side of things. But now when I talk to people about Israel, I talk about the time I played ping pong with Ori, or just the fun experiences we had, and the culture I learned from Ori and all the other ambassadors really helped me with my conversations here and talk about the people of Israel rather than the politics.
How about you, Ori? How has meeting Aiden helped you with conversations about America with other Israelis?
So as I said before, I didn't know anyone from the US before this delegation. And since I met the whole delegation, the whole part of this group, I've just learned so much about the US community. And after that, I was always talking with my friends about it, and I was so enthusiastic and excited about it. So I just spread the rumor everywhere and with everyone I could.
After hearing from these young people, I think we can all agree our future certainly looks bright. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you to all of you for this amazing opportunity, and to Dor, my program manager, and to every one of you for letting us do this great experience and to involve together.
100%. Thank you all so much.
On behalf of the Jewish Federation of Palm Beach County and the TZAHAR Partnership Region in Israel, I want to thank you for joining our two-continent celebration of our remarkable 25-year partnership. That concludes today's program. Shana Tova, Happy Healthy New Year, and Shalom, everyone.
Mosaic is brought to you in part by these generous corporate sponsors. Learn how you can support Mosaic by visiting jewishpb.org/mosaic.